my faith. Like that
Wait,
was
your own Western. I don't know about this. Tell me.
Ghost of the Badlands. You can see it back there. Actually, it's actually a graphic novel, and it's
Oh,
it's essentially an allegorical Western that's essentially like a Western retelling of sort of the conversion of the Apostle Paul, sort of.
what? And where can people buy it?
You can buy it on Amazon. You can get it anywhere, color or black and white. Yes.
Ghost of the Badlands.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a copy. I'm excited.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's wild.
right.
When I was writing it, I thought I was just going to do a Western, and it was the spookiest thing ever. Me and an artist had been just kind of flirting with the idea of doing a Western. And he was going to have to move on to another project. And so he just drops me a line like, hey, dude, like I'm between projects. So if you want to do this thing with me, we got to do it right now. Right. So I'm like, oh, crap, say less. So I hadn't written the script yet. So I sat down and I started writing. And again, I have no prompt except I have a vague idea of what I want to do, not religious, and it's going to be a Western. And as I'm writing this, it gets churchier and churchier. And before long, it's opening with a quote from a founder of the Church of God, and it becomes an allegory for the conversion on the road to Damascus. I was like working out my return to faith basically while writing it, and it became full on religiously themed work. So doing that, I necessarily, as I was promoting it, had to kind of warn people, really. Like, my previous work has not been this Christian. So it's just this side of a Christian comic. So, buyer beware, just in case, right? So in the process of that, I got a lot of questions about it. And that was how I became more demonstrative in talking about it.
Did you feel that you were compelled? Like you're like, I'm going to write about this. And God's like, no, you're not.
No, it was the spookiest thing ever. I had to stop myself from finishing it the first night, the entire script in one sitting. And I think the original script was 60 something pages. Like, it's not a short thing. And it wound up being even longer. And it wrote itself objectively. Like, it wrote itself.
Yes.
It was the easiest thing I've ever written in my entire life. And when I was done with it, I was like, how did that happen? Like, I had a vague memory of adding this line here and that line there, but it was like I almost had a creative amnesia afterward of writing, and I'm not even kidding. So I really think I allowed myself to be taken out of the process a little bit, and it made it a lot better.
Do you know the book, The War of Art?
No.
Okay. See, at the beginning, he kind of talks about being a vessel for something supernatural, if you believe in God, being a vessel for God, or being, like some people think Mozart, for example, was sort of a channeling God in his music, like the voice of, if you've seen that movie, Amadeus. Have you seen that movie? I thought you would love. Okay. Yeah. What a great movie, right? So the way Salieri calls him the voice of God, but he's sort of being channeled. And creatively, I think writers or musicians or some different kind of creative artists, when they're being used in that way, it's sort of that experience of, I've heard people describe it that way. I didn't feel like I was writing it all. Like you said, it almost poured out of me in one night.
Right.
And then
I had to stop myself halfway through and finish it the next night, because I was like, I've sat here and I could finish this right now, but I want to keep it fresh. Right. So I stopped right in the middle of a sentence so that I would have something to pick up off of. And then I came back to it the next day and just hit the ground running. And again, it wrote itself. I could have finished the whole thing in one night.
And it's not always like that. Tell me about when you're struggling and you're like, I just can't get this
please. Out. My second book, Death Mask, which turned out really good. I was really happy with how it turned out. It became a completely different story. I started out, I had the complete thing written, and I go back and add a subplot that turns into the main plot and over half of the book and the title of the book, right? But it wound up being good. It worked out, but that's a classic case of you just never know what turn writing is going to take ever.
Yeah. Or what the process is going to, if it's going to be a struggle or if it's going to pour out.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't call it a struggle, but the worst thing you can do is avoid confronting a problem that you have narratively or whatever. Like, if you have to, just cut the darn thing out, right? If you're having a problem, that's 9 times out of 10, that's the appropriate solution. But just don't stop. The best writing advice I ever give is just write until you're done, then go back and fix it.
Yes. Get it all on the page. Okay.
I am the serious man.